think maybe I did. Because sometimes you don't see the best thing that's ever happened to you is sitting there, right under your nose. That's fine too. It really is.
Alright, so today I'm about to be showing y'all how to make some Crimenb, just for a little bit of background. This is like a new genre that I'm working on. It's supposed to be like a mix of noir music and some like old 90s detective shit. It's supposed to give you that nice feeling. Like real dark and gritty, but also kind of sad. Almost like some shit's happening that you don't want to happen. Like, yeah, just some detective shit. I don't really know. Let me let y'all hear how it listens to, or how it sounds. Let the shit play out.
I hope I didn't take it for granted. I think maybe I did. Because sometimes you don't see the best thing that's ever happened to you is sitting there, right under your nose. That's fine too. It really is.
There's nothing left.
Alright, so just that like understand the background and stuff of this. It's like just that feeling you want to go for. So I'm gonna do a rundown of the melody real quick, which is just like everything you think that would be like in jazz. And some extra shit, like maybe some leads. But first we got the piano from Trippie. When you want to be making these beats, just like don't really do too much with the piano unless you really want to make it sound good. Like just some simple shit's perfectly fine for these. There are some beats that I have done like some extra stuff, but it's just gotta sound sad. So we got Triton Extreme, JV. This is the one that I be using the majority of the time to like layer shit. I think this is a pad. It should be at least. It got some nice layers in it and some pads, and some nice synths in it to give it that spacious feeling that you really want for the beat. And then we got strings, which I feel like is important to give it that sad kind of feeling. Then we got, I think this is the saxophone I be using just for like a little sauce, because some of the saxophones that I be using. So in Xenology I use full sax. There's another plugin that's in Contact that I'll open it real quick. This plugin is goated, but I ain't use it in this beat. It's called Sensual Sax. It sounds really good for like these beats. I use it in the majority of my other ones, but this one I didn't use it in. I think this shit froze my computer. Like, yeah. That's the plugin. If y'all want to go support the people that made it, it's really good. I fuck with it heavy. But on to the next shit. So, Xenology saxophone. Just a simple pattern for that. And then a flute. It really fits in. That's flute. This should be, I think, a vibraphone. I also use that in Xenology. They got some good vibraphones on there. And then last but not least, I think this is like a lead. Oh, it's just some Vox. I think that should be the last one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, all that together, yeah, I'll show that next. All those melodies together should sound a little something like this, which gives you that nice Crimenb feel. Oh, that's the jazz, bro. Why it's not? There we go. Alright, so now for a rundown of the jazz drums that I be using. So for this, I'll be using FPC. I go for, up here in the presets, I go for the jazz kit. And what I do is layer some nice jazz drums. If you don't know what jazz drums, I really, like, the best way to describe it is on every second bar you split it. This one is in, I think, yeah, I did it in 1/2 steps, but normally you're supposed to do it in 1/3. And on every triplet, I think it is, you're supposed to add an extra one, but for the most part, it's supposed to sound something like this. Just a nice little swing to it to give it that nice jazz feel. And you add that in at the beginning when you're like trying to introduce the drums and everything. So as you heard earlier, it's gonna sound something like this. Just a nice jazz feel. And you want to play with the velocity on the jazz kit as well. The kick shouldn't be that loud, but everything else should just float with it. Now for the drums, honestly, these are very simple. Only in some beats I do like weird stuff with the beats. Like for, I think this one, I cut the hi-hats or the open hats. But this is what it's supposed to sound like for the drum. For the 808s, simple, nothing big. I'm using my kit for this. claps, just simple, nothing really big for that. Just a normal clap. Next up is the hats that I chopped. Did I chop these? I think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, so it's just normal open hats. Yeah, so for that one, it's just normal, nothing big to that one. For the next one, it is perks, and I'm using my, I think it's the splash perk. No, droplet and splash for both of them. Then I got some effects on the splash. I use it as a clap as well sometimes, but it just gives it that nice effect for a background. Now this is what everything sounds like together for the drums. Let me skip a little bit ahead. That all together and you got some Crimenb. And just for like the background stuff, usually what I put at the beginning of the beats is like a movie quote. Like I use this. I used to when there's some thunder.
I think maybe I did. Because sometimes you don't see that the best thing that's ever happened to you is sitting there, right under your nose. That's fine too. Really is.
And then Soar's riser, which works really well with the beginning.
I hope I didn't take it for granted. I think maybe I did. Because sometimes you don't see the best thing that's ever happened to you is sitting there, right under your nose. That's fine too. Really is.